Hey guys, so I'm going to show you the recipe for meatballs in sour cream sauce. Maybe it sounds a little weird, but they're actually super tender, super delicious meatballs made with 93% lean turkey. And they are not dry at all or flavorless. These are amazing meatballs. So let's get started. What you need to make the first step, which is the meatball mixture, is now I'm doubling like a normal recipe amount. So if you want to make this and you don't want that many, then just whatever I say, cut it in half, and that's what you're going to do for a single batch of this recipe. But I'm using 3 pounds of 93% lean turkey. I'm doing 2 eggs, 1 cup of diced onion, 1 cup of milk. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of parsley. You're going to need 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs. Any breadcrumb is fine. I buy panko because if I ever bread anything, like when I make oven baked chicken fingers, instead of frying them, the panko helps them, stay crispy, even though I'm just baking them in the oven. But once you add the milk to these breadcrumbs, they're going to get soggy just like any old breadcrumb would. So anyway, 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs, whatever kind you like. 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. Half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of salt, and that's it. So that is all you need to make the meatballs. The rest of the ingredients I'm going to share later are to make the sauce. But once you make the meatball mixture, it has to sit in the fridge minimum of 2 hours. You can always make this the day before and let it sit in the fridge overnight if you want to, just to make it easier. But today's Saturday, so I'm just doing this in the morning and it's going to sit in the fridge all day until it's dinner time later. So let's get started on making the meatball mixture. So I have my bowl. First, put your turkey in the bowl. Just like that. Okay, so 2 to 3 pounds of ground turkey. I am adding 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of parsley. You can do fresh parsley. I'm just doing dried parsley because that's what I have. I don't feel like running out to the store to get parsley. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Do 1 teaspoon of salt. You're going to do 1.5 cups of dry breadcrumbs. You're going to do 2 eggs. And you're going to do 1 cup of milk. The last thing you need is 1 cup of diced onions. And that's it. That's your meatball mixture. And now what you want to do is get in here and give it a really good mix. Just get in there with your hands. You can wash your hands later. And just give this a really good mix. And cover it. Pop it in the fridge. Alright. That is good. So now I'm going to wash my hands, cover this, and pop it in the fridge. And I will see you later tonight with the rest of the ingredients. And I'll show you how to make the sour cream sauce for the meatballs. Okay, so it is actually the next day because I kind of started doing some yard work outside yesterday and lost track of time. Before you know it, it was after 5 and there's no way I was going to start making these at 5 o'clock. So this mixture has been sitting in the fridge overnight. And now what you want to do get yourself a plate, and you're going to start rolling these. You're going to get about a tablespoon of mixture, and you're going to start rolling these and putting them right on a plate. And when you have enough to fill a frying pan, then you're going to do that. Okay. And you don't need to grease your hands or the plate or anything like that. They won't stick. This one's a little big. Take some off of there. Re-roll it. There we go. All right. The hardest part about making this recipe is making the meatballs. And it's not even hard. It's just time consuming because you got to sit there rolling each meatball. And especially if you're doing a double batch, that's a lot of meatballs. Doubling the recipe makes about 36 to 40 meatballs. You cut it in half, you're making about 20 meatballs. And there you go, folks. That's a nice plate of meatballs. And they're pretty much the same size, too. Not too bad if I say so myself. Okay, so now let's get these cooking. Okay, so you want to get yourself a large skillet because you're going to brown the meatballs. Okay, so the pan is nice and hot. So now I'm going to put some olive oil in here, just like that. And we are going to start adding our meatballs, and you want to turn it down to a medium low. Turn it up to a medium because as you put the meatballs in, it's cooling the pan down. Move these over a little bit. Alright, so that's half the meatballs because I made double batch. So I'm going to cook the first batch. So once they start to get nice and dark brown and do like a little crust on them like that, just give them a flip. They've been in here about 4 minutes, so I'm just flipping them over. And I have the flame on a 6, which is like a medium. Alright, so let them cook on that side. And then I'll show you the next step. Alright, so once the other side has been browned, see that? Brown on all sides. Take them off. Put them on a plate. Because what you're going to do next is get the next batch in. And these might not look like juicy meatballs right now. But I am telling you, I promise you that these meatballs are super tender, super tasty, and not dry at all inside. So I have this batch on a plate. I'm going to set it aside. And now you see all this stuff, all these little onions and little bits stuck in here? Don't worry about that because that is going to become part of your sauce later. You're going to scrape all that up when you make your sauce. So now I'm going to put a little bit more olive oil to get the second batch going. I have the other half that I'm going to put in now. I have the cooked ones over here, and while these were cooking, I got all the other ingredients ready, which are half a cup of flour, a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, 2 teaspoons of paprika, and 1.5 cups of sour cream. So that's what you're going to need for the sauce. Oh, sorry, and over here, 4 cups of water. So 4 cups of water, and all of this is going to make the sauce. And then I'm going to serve it over some extra wide egg noodles and some broccoli on the side. Have a little mess going here, but it's going to be worth it and delicious. Okay, so this is nice and hot. I'm going to get my second batch of meatballs in. Get those browning. All right. For some reason, the back of the pan over here cooks a lot faster. There we go. Okay, I'll see you in about 6 minutes. And a little tip, guys, if you're making meatballs and you're running short on time, because these do take a little while to make, then something you can do, because my kids are like, where's dinner? Where's dinner? I'm hungry, I'm hungry. So something you could do is pop a lid on them, and it'll help them cook faster. So the only difference, when you cover them, they're still going to get nice and browned, but you see all that liquid at the bottom? That wasn't there before it was dry. So, but that's okay, because that'll evaporate as you cook, and it's just going to be part of the sauce, not a big deal. If I wasn't running short on time here, I wouldn't have covered them, but the kids are hungry, got a late start with dinner. So, just a little something to speed it up. And remember, normally it doesn't take this long, but because I'm doing a double batch, it's taking twice as long to get this dinner made. But if you're doing a regular batch, which is about 20 meatballs, so if that's enough for you and your family, then just make a single batch, divide everything I said in this video by 2, and that'll be 1 batch. And tonight, I'm making these with these extra wide egg noodles. They're really good. I like the extra wide because they don't fall apart as much, and they just feel nice and hearty when you're eating them. So I like those. And this bag is only going to be enough for tonight, but the extra meatballs are amazing with mashed potatoes, with plain boiled potatoes. You can have a baked potato and a nice pile of meatballs with sauce with a veggie on the side. So don't be afraid that you're not going to have enough noodles, because these meatballs are great. Even put them on a sandwich. They're so good. Okay, these are done. So I'm going to get them off, put them on the plate, and I'm going to show you how to start making the sauce. We're in the home stretch here, folks. A little side trick. If your meatballs are stuck to the bottom at all, if you're using non-stick, obviously they won't stick, but if you're using stainless steel, just get a metal spatula and just go underneath them like this, and they'll pop right off. Because if you try to take them off with the tongers, little pieces of your meatballs will be left behind. So just scrape them off like that. Super simple. So now you want to turn your pan to low, and you're going to get a whisk. And what you're going to do is you're going to sprinkle in the flour. Sprinkle the flour in and just start mixing it around. If it's too dry and you cannot make a roux, then just add a little bit more olive oil if you need to, which I'm going to do. A little bit of olive oil like this, because this was really dry. There was really no oil left at the bottom of the pan. And you have the flame on low, and you're going to take your paprika, black pepper, take your salt, okay, so now that all your dry stuff is well incorporated and you got all the bits off the bottom of the pan, now what you're going to do Now you're gonna add this water, 4 cups of water, and just break up all those lumps of the roux. And you're gonna turn up the heat a little bit to a medium because you want this to get bubbly. All right, so let this come to a boil, and then we're gonna add the sour cream. We're gonna put the meatballs back in. Okay guys, so this just started to boil. So I'm just gonna stir it, and you can already see it getting thicker. I'm just gonna let it boil for 1 minute, constantly stirring it. And then we're gonna add the sour cream, put the meatballs back in, and this is gonna be so ready. Okay, so now we're gonna start adding in the sour cream. I'm gonna turn the flame down to a low, medium low. And I'm gonna start adding in the 1.5 cups of sour cream. And one thing I wanted to say that I forgot is that if you are having a hard time breaking up the little clumps of the roux in the water, because it can take a while, you're sitting there whisking and whisking, take your immersion blender, your stick blender, or whatever, stick it in the pan and just break it up. It'll take literally seconds. And then you can start adding in the sour cream. Okay, now give this sauce a taste and see if it needs anything, some more salt, some more pepper. Oh my goodness, I forgot an ingredient. I always taste the food before I serve it. Thank God I do, because I forgot an ingredient. There's supposed to be 2 teaspoons of garlic powder in here, and it is not in here. I could taste that it's not in here. Let me add that now. Okay, so I'm adding 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. Normally it would be added with the paprika earlier, but since I forgot, we're putting it now. Not a big deal. It's gonna taste just as good. Taste it one more time. Now that's good. Okay, so now you're gonna take all your meatballs and you're gonna put them back into the sauce. And you're gonna let your meatballs get warmed all the way through. Okay. And then just cover this and just let it simmer for 5 to 10 minutes so that your meatballs can get hot all the way through. And in the meantime, I'm gonna throw the egg noodles in to boil. Okay guys, so these have been in here for 10 minutes. They're simmering in the sauce. So I am gonna drain the noodles and we are gonna serve this up. All right. Okay guys, I am gonna cut into one of these meatballs for you to show you how tender it is. Even need a knife. Look at that. They're super tender meatballs. And you can see the pieces of onion in there. See that? Super delicious. So, piece of that meatball. The meatballs are super, super tender. You would not believe how tender they are. And they're 93% lean turkey. You wouldn't believe it. If I gave you these to eat, you would not believe that these were 93% lean turkey. That's how tender and flavorful they are. So, all right. Let me get dinner plated up. See you in a bit. We are ready to have dinner. We have our plate of hot egg noodles. And now I'm gonna take the meatballs and the sour cream sauce and pour it right over the egg noodles. Let's do one more meatball. And voila, dinner is served. I have some steamed broccoli I'm going to take out right now and serve it up with that. 1 second. All right, I got the broccoli on there and we are ready to eat. Give these meatballs and sour cream sauce a try. I think you're going to like them. Thanks for watching and bon appetit. Bye.